जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So we are reading from the book Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, which is based on the scripture Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the life and teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So we were here that yesterday we saw the different examples of devotees who are following the various limbs of bhakti, of devotional service, and how Maharaj Ambarish, he is using all the limbs of bhakti perfectly. And we also saw um, where it is mentioned, where Mahaprabhu says that the 5 points, which are the most essential points of practicing devotional service, if somebody is practicing those 5 points, so what are those 5 points? Sadhu Sangha Nam Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathura Vas, Shri Murtir Shraddhaye Sevan. These 5 points, if somebody is doing, even if they are doing it imperfectly, they may not be able to execute them perfectly. Even then, gradually they will reach to the perfectional stage of devotional service. As mentioned above, Maharaj Ambarish performed all the items of devotional service. He first of all engaged his mind by fixing it on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. He engaged his words, his power of speaking, in describing the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He engaged his hands in washing the temple of the deity. He engaged his ears in hearing the words of Lord Krishna. He engaged his eyes in beholding the deity form of the Lord. He engaged his sense of touch by rendering service to the devotees. And he engaged his sense of smell by relishing the fragrance of the flowers that are offered to Lord Krishna. He engaged his tongue in tasting the tulsi leaves that are offered to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. He engaged his legs in going to the temple of Lord Krishna. He engaged his head in offering obeisances to the deity of Lord Krishna. Because all his desires and ambitions were thus engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, Maharaj Ambarish is considered the leader in discharging devotional service in all kinds of ways. And Srila Prabhupada has also taught us this same method so that we can engage all our senses, our mind, body, everything, word, mind, body, karmana, manasa, vacha, in every way, so that we are able to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. We may not be perfect like Ambarish Maharaj, but it is said by Mahaprabhu, it is given, it is a promise by the Supreme Lord, but that if one is engaging all their senses in the service of the in devotional service of the Lord, then even if it is imperfect, gradually they will come to the perfectional stage of the devotional service. Whoever engages in the devotional service of the Lord in full Krishna consciousness becomes freed of all debts to the sages, to the demigods, to the forefathers, to whom everyone is generally indebted. So in the Shastras, it is mentioned that the living beings, the humans, they are indebted to the sages. It is because of the sages that um, since the sages are performing the devotional services, various rituals, fire sacrifices, therefore the rain, the grains, all this are maintained, all this are equally distributed. Then uh, we are also indebted to the demigods because the demigods are taking care of the different departments of that are made by the Supreme Lord, the water department, the fire department, the wind department. So demigods are maintaining these different departments, and therefore we are also indebted to the demigods. Then forefathers, Pitri. We see that so many people suffer because of Pitri dosh, various kinds of chronic diseases or legal problems happening in the families, relationship issues happening in the families. Most of the time, the cause is Pitri dosh, forefathers. So everybody is generally indebted to them, but whoever engages in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord in full Krishna consciousness, um, also in those regarding those 5 points, one important factor is that one should be engaged in full Krishna consciousness, not with some ulterior motive. In such a situation, if somebody who has no ulterior motive, but just the purpose is fully engaging in Krishna consciousness, then in that case, even if they are imperfect in those 5 points, in performing those devotional services imperfectly, still they will come to the perfectional stage. So this is a very important point, that one who engages in devotional service of the Lord in full Krishna consciousness, such devotees, they become free of all the debts to the sages, to the demigods, to the forefathers, to whom everyone is generally indebted. This is confirmed where? In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 5, text number 41. Devarshi bhutapta nrinam pitrinam nakinkaro nayam rini cha rajan sarvatmana yah sharanam sharanyam gato mukundam pariritya kartam. Whoever fully engages himself in the service of the Lord, O King, giving up all other duties, is no longer indebted to the demigods, the sages, and other living entities, his relatives, forefathers, or any man, anybody. Every man, just after his birth, is at once indebted to all the above mentioned personalities, and one is expected to discharge many kinds of ritualistic functions because of this indebtedness. When they do not discharge such ritualistic functions that are actually supposed to be done, then that is when they get entangled, and that is when they attract more and more suffering. But a person who is fully surrendered unto Krishna has no obligation. He becomes free from all debts. It should be carefully noted, however, that when a person gives up all other duties and simply takes to the transcendental service of Lord Krishna, he has no material desire and is not apt to perform sinful activities. A person who gives up all other duties and simply takes to the transcendental service of Lord Krishna, he has no material desire and he is not apt to perform any sinful activities. If, however, he performs sinful activities, not willfully, but by chance, by mistake, some sinful activity happens, then Krishna gives him all protection. It is not necessary for such a devotee to purify himself by any other method. And this is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Again, Canto 11, chapter 5, text 42. A devotee who is fully engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord is protected by the Supreme Person. But in case such a devotee unintentionally commits some sinful activity or is obliged to act sinfully under certain circumstances, then God, situated within his heart, gives him all protection. The process of speculative knowledge and renunciation are not chief items for elevation in devotional service. So, process of speculative knowledge. Speculative knowledge means knowledge which we are, which um, So we try to understand based on our intelligence, and there is debate, and there is discussion, and there is argument. That is speculative knowledge. So such process are not the chief items. The one should one should accept the knowledge, the information given in the scriptures, the information given in Bhagavad Gita, the information given in Srimad Bhagavatam as it is, with faith, with full faith, and with conviction. And they should proceed accordingly with full determination. So that is the process, that is the right way of elevating in devotional service. But process of speculative knowledge, renunciation, taking okay, I'm going to renounce this, I'm going to renounce that, I'm going to stop doing this, I'm going to stop doing that. No, that is not mentioned. Who has advised you? Under whose guidance are you? Has anybody told you to do? So there are so many people, so they do this uh, so we see so many ministers or philanthropists for the welfare of humanity. I am going to sit here, and from now onwards I'm going to start doing full fasting. I'm not going to eat as long as our demands are not met. All these kinds of renunciations has not been mentioned in any of the scriptures, because these are all meant for sense gratification, and therefore this is not going to lead anybody to devotional service. So somebody who wants to progress in devotional service should not get entangled into all these things. Kali Yuga, this is the material world. The material world will never become a perfect place. Everything will always be imperfect, and everything will always be dirty here, because this is the perverted reflection of the spiritual world. It will never become the perfect place. And that is not even the purpose. Therefore, we should not get stuck. Oh, why this is happening? Why this happened? Why God is not protecting? We should not get entangled into all these things. I was just hearing one beautiful class by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. So I want to share this as it is very, very appropriate for this um, in this scenario. There were there was an attack in West Bengal at that time. Srila Prabhupada was in Kolkata, and bombs were being thrown from helicopters. Bombs were being thrown, and every here and there, bombs were falling, and there was fire, and people were dying and burning to death. And at that time, Srila Prabhupada was very much there in Kolkata when this is happening. And so the devotees went and said, Prabhupada, we have to leave immediately. Not devotees, I mean the neighborhood maybe, or some people. They said that so at that time he was probably called Abhay, or so, come, we should leave right now, we should leave right now. Srila Prabhupada said, and they went and they saw that Srila Prabhupada is making puris at that time. Bombs are falling. Srila Prabhupada is making puris, and he's making nice sabji, nice vegetable, and he's cooking very nicely, and he's completely absorbed in cooking. Now everybody is like, Prabhupada, what are you doing? This is not the time to make puris and all. We have to run from here. So Srila Prabhupada said, why? Why should we run from here? And I'm making these puris and sabji for my deities, for Krishna. So they said that, Are, this is not the time. You will die here. So Srila Prabhupada said that death is inevitable. Nobody can escape death. If somebody thinks that just by hopping from here to there I can escape death, they are just being foolish. Death is inevitable. Now or later, death is going to come. But uh, for the devotees, death comes as Krishna. Krishna himself comes. Krishna doesn't come as a very wild or scary looking death. No, he doesn't come like that. For the devotees, Krishna himself comes and takes the devotees. And therefore, the devotional service of Krishna should never stop. This bomb that is falling is also actually Krishna. Krishna is coming, and therefore I want to welcome Krishna with these puris and sabjis. Why should I run from here when Krishna himself is coming? So, so this is Srila Prabhupada. This is a pure devotee. A pure devotee is never scared of anything. And just as we were saying, false renunciation. Oh, now we need to renounce this, we need to renounce that. No, there's no need for all these things. So one just has to take up to the principles of devotional, just the principles what has been given uh, by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, what has been given by our acharyas, what has been given by Srila Prabhupada, that is perfect. And just by perfectly following in the footsteps of these acharyas and shastra, one will become one will reach the highest stage in devotional service. So, speculative knowledge, renunciation, they are not the chief items for elevation in devotional service. One does not have to take to the principles of one does not have to take to the principles of non-violence and self-control. Many people think that ahimsa is paro dharmo. Ahimsa is one of the pillars out of the four pillars. Ahimsa or compassion is one of the pillars by which one becomes a human being. But these are not the ultimate principles, these are just pillars. Just by controlling our senses artificially, that I'm not going to smell this, some nice smell of the food item is coming, I'm not going to smell this. Are for how long you will not smell? How long can you control your sense of smelling? Because as soon as you open your nose to breathe, that smell will go. So that is artificially controlling senses. How long can you not look at something? If something is happening in front of you, how long can you close your eyes? So artificial sense control will not lead anywhere. But dovetailing the senses in the for the higher purpose, dovetailing all our senses in the service of the Lord, that will automatically take away our desire or our attachment to the lower tastes. So the senses will never uh, get carried away by the lower tastes once you give it the higher taste. So one does not have to take to the principles of non-violence and sense control, although there are rules and regulations for acquiring these qualities in the other processes. There are many rules and regulations. I don't want to name any particular, but there are many um, um, there are some sets of people, or not caste, but yeah, segments basically, who follow these strict, 41 days they are not going to eat or drink anything, simply some boiled water, hot water, and they keep continuously wear a mask. Then there is another a sect of people, suddenly they will not wear anything, fully naked they will walk in the road. They are thinking that this is something, this is, I mean, they are artificially controlling their senses. So these are all artificial control of senses. But what is going to happen? What is the ultimate purpose? Krishna is saying all these things are not required. So there are other processes where there are many strict rules and regulations, that how to do sense control. In the heat you have to sit in the fire, or in the cold you have to sit in the ice, take bath with ice water. I've heard and seen people do these things. So these things are not required. Krishna consciousness it is simple for the simple. Krishna doesn't want all these drama. He doesn't want all these dramas. Without even practicing these processes, a devotee develops all the good qualities simply by discharging devotional service to the Lord. In the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, okay, it's already, I can say it's already time up. So, Krishna willing, we'll continue reading tomorrow. We'll pause here for today. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for a very kind association. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंतकोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. If anybody has any doubts or any questions, I request all of you to please make a note of your questions or doubts. And when we meet tomorrow, or when we meet the next day, uh, when we begin the class, you can raise your hand, or you can let me know in the group that you have a question, so we can address to that question in the next session, so that any doubts or questions that are there, they are not, please don't carry them along with you, because these doubts are like demons. If they are not clarified, they are just going to haunt you. So if there are any doubts, questions, anything, please note them down so that we can address them, or we can just specifically meet for a question answer session as well, in the same slot, in the same session. So thank you very much. Srila Jai Prataka Swami, Guru Maharaj ki jai.
जय
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
जय
Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari
हरि हरि
Bol.
बोल श्यामा गुरुमणि माता दी की जय
All of you to
हरि
please unmute
बोल
and please bless me with your Hari Bol, because that
Hari
gives me lot of spiritual strength.
Hari
हरि
Bol.
बोल
Hari Bol.